Last night at about 10 o'clock, I saw on Facebook that somebody had a little Honda four-wheeler for sale about an hour away. And when it gets warm up here, everything like this sells, and the price was too cheap to pass on it. So I jumped in my truck and took off driving up there. And in the middle of that, it started raining, and it started raining that kind of rain that made me nervous. I checked the weather and saw that it was supposed to rain overnight and most of the next day, and just hoped and prayed that everything would be fine. I got home at 1 o'clock last night, and it was raining even harder. And so by the time I got up to the ranch this morning, there's water running in places that I've never seen it run before. The beauty of having 3 years of videos on YouTube is I can go back and look at what the weather was like this time a year ago, this time 2 years ago, and this time 3 years ago. And 3 years ago, when we first bought the land, it was bone dry up here. I mean, it was nothing like this, no snow. Last year we had a little bit of rain. 2 years ago we had a little bit of rain. But by far, this is the worst year. I've never seen the creek run like this. I've never seen water come off the hills like this. So again, to me, this is another opportunity to observe and just make preparations to ensure that we're safe and secure. If we happen to have crazy rain coming like this, the big issue this summer is going to be building a retaining wall against the hill here, just to keep that dirt from moving around too much, because there's just so much water coming off that hill right now. But I walked around the house, and surprisingly, all the trenches and ditches that I put in last year to kind of keep the water away from the house, they're doing their job. So everything's fine for the most part. But anyway, we got good 3 days of nothing but sunshine, and the beauty is this place dries out real fast, and so I can't wait to just kind of be over this hump. I want to be outside. I just found out my vitamin D levels are excessively low, so much so that the doctor put me on a prescription of vitamin D. So I'm ready to be outside. I'm ready to get the inside finished. I'm ready to get it painted, and I'm ready to enjoy the warm months that are coming up. And I picked up that four-wheeler so the kids would have something to do up here. I feel like we're going to have a lot of family and friends up here this summer, and I want to have 3 or 4 four-wheelers up here that they can run around and play on. We've got literally hundreds of miles of trails around us here. So anyway, a little bit nerve-wracking today, but thank goodness I took the time to put to grade the house as good as I did last year. It's making a difference.
Oh my child, I know you're hurt and you can't let go. It's not your fault and you don't deserve all the bad and the hurt. I know you tried so hard. I know you've done your part. It's not fair. You did your time. How much longer will you suffer in this life? But don't give up. Just hold on tight. It'll be alright. All your life you've tried to be a good man inside. Did everything that you thought you should. Didn't seem to do you any good. I know you've tried so hard. I know you've done your part. It's not fair. You did your time. How much longer will you suffer in this life? But don't give up. hold on tight. It'll be alright. I know you tried so hard. I know you've done your part. It's not fair. You did your time. How much longer will you suffer in this life? But don't give up. Just hold on tight. It'll be alright.
Most evenings, if I'm not editing a video, I'm typically wasting time wandering around the internet looking for materials, tools, or anything that can be used up here at the property. This is how I often find good deals on different things. There's a couple of things on my short list right now that I've been watching for. One of them's a 1,000-gallon propane tank. Most of the time they don't come up for sale. Monday morning I noticed that someone not too far away from me had a tank for sale, and they weren't sure how big it was. The pictures didn't do justice, but the price was cheap enough that it justified taking a drive down and looking at it. First thing Monday morning, I ran down and discovered it was only a 250-gallon tank, but it's in good enough shape that I could use it. Our intentions are to have a backup generator that runs on propane. In my mind, to be safe, we'll have our battery bank powered by our solar panels, with a backup generator as well as a wind generator. I'd like to have enough charging resources in place that we don't ever have issues with this. The dryer, stove, and water heater inside the house will run on propane. A 1,000 gallons is way more than we will use in a year, but I'd like to have a surplus on hand at all times. I ran down and picked up this little propane tank and will likely use it just for the generator. The weather was nice enough that I took a few minutes outside, moved things around, and cleaned up a little bit. Once I got the trailer back in position, I jumped back on the drywall. As I've been working through the drywall, I've concluded that I'm chasing something that I'm probably never going to get. While in my mind I think things have to be perfect, the truth is it's a rustic house for a reason. So after spending way more time on the master bedroom than I probably needed to, I think I've developed whatever texture we're gonna have. I'm not sure what to call it, whether it's level 5 or a Santa Fe, but it's mostly smooth with minor imperfections here and there. The bevel joints and the butt joints are not obvious, and more than anything, this is what I was after. But the little imperfections give it the character that our house needs. I'll finish taping off the rest of the upstairs in the next couple of days, do 2 skim coats, and move on to the downstairs as quick as I can. After sanding it, I love the way it looks. Cedar loved the way it looks. Now it's time to just make the rest of the house match. I need to do the green board around the bathtub, the insulation in the laundry room, and then everything else is ready to be hung upstairs. The stairs are going to take some effort because there's quite a bit of backing that I have to put in. But for the most part, I'm hoping to get completely done with upstairs by the 1st of next week. One of the first projects that I'm really looking forward to doing this summer once things dry out is this retaining wall against the hillside. For the last couple of years, I've watched it as the snows melt, as the water runs off it. Obviously, there's a potential for dirt to move around. And I took the time last year to grade around the house and make a drainage ditch that's about 2 feet lower than the foundation height of the house. And so far it served its purpose. But over the last 24 hours, we've had probably close to 2 inches of rain. And then it's been exceptionally warm, so we've still got snow that's melting off up here as well. So since I got up here this morning, this corner right below this tree has really started to kind of break down, and it's made me a little bit nervous, and I've watched it throughout the day. But we've never had water running off the hills like this before. The water has never moved around like this. So the good news is the rain seems to be going away. The next 3 days are very warm, and also the good news is things seem to dry out quite fast. But this big maple tree right here is one of the few maple trees that I left on the hill, and it's being compromised. I hope it'll be fine. I'm just going to backfill around that. The good news is the solar panels haven't moved. Nothing's really being compromised up there, but this is just a good indication of the potential when we have a bad year. I've never in the 4 years that we've been coming up here, 3 years we've owned this land, we've never seen this before. We've never had this much water running around before. So hopefully we get through the next few days, everything dries out, and I can keep this in mind as I'm building the retaining wall with rocks. I think what I'll probably do is once things dry out quite a bit more is I'm going to dig down even deeper and taper the dirt away from the house even more, just to guarantee the water as we have these crazy storms, that the water just doesn't sit up against the house and that the water has a place to go. Living on a hillside like this, we've just got to make sure that the more than anything, the water has a place to go. So anyway, kind of nerve-wracking. Today's been a bit of a I guess my anxiety's been up a little bit higher just because this has never happened before. The creek, I've never seen the creek moving the kind of water that's moving down through it. And since the rain has stopped, it's already started to tighten up. But it's supposed to be almost 70 degrees this weekend, so this last little bit of snow up on the hill is going to go away pretty fast, and obviously it's coming down the hill. So anyway,